Hi, I'm Claire from Wild Ginger Running, and this is my review of two of the latest head torches from two of the main brands for runners, the new PETZL Iko Core and the Silva Trail Runner 3H. As with all the gear I test on my channel, these were sent to me by the brands, but they have absolutely no control over what I say in this review, as I'm sure you'll see for yourself by my honest comments in this film. So I was really excited for these two head torches to come out because they both boast some really significant technological changes. But does that make them any better than their older incarnations? Let's have a look at their performance. A heads up, I consider 200 lumens the minimum most people will want these days for trail running on a wide variety of terrain. So let's see what these are both offering. Brightness and beam pattern. The PETZL Iko Core is not specifically designed for runners. It costs £70, it weighs a tiny 80 grams, and it kicks out a max of 500 lumens with a beam length of 100 meters for 2.5 hours. The Silva Trail Runner 3H is designed specifically for trail and ultra runners, costs £109, weighs a very reasonable 115 grams, and has a maximum brightness of 400 lumens with a beam length of 80 meters for 2.5 hours. Out on the trail, the maximum brightness and beam length of both head torches seems to be very similar, although there is 100 lumens between them. The PETZL Iko Core has a bright white light which casts an almost greyish hue onto the surroundings, while the Silva Trail Runner 3H has a slightly sunnier yellow hue to the beam and a wider spread outside of the main spotlight, which I did feel picked out more of the detail both on the trail and the surroundings. The medium setting on the Iko at 100 lumens over 45 meters for 9 hours is good for running on easy trails, but the medium setting on the Trail Runner 3 is 200 lumens across 50 meters for 5 hours. So this is better for running on more testing terrain, but with obviously less battery life at that higher brightness level. So for the Iko, there's a 6 lumen lowest light setting, which will go for 2 to 4 hours after the battery loses enough charge for the higher settings to allow you to pick your way cautiously down the mountain. Or you can use this setting around camp, maybe as a lantern with the carry bag over it, for a maximum of 100 hours. For the Trail Runner, the lowest light setting is brighter at 50 lumens for 12 hours, making it more useful for running at sunrise and sunset on easy trails or when the moon is super bright. Other lighting features. One interesting lighting difference between these two head torches is that the first button press on the Silva gets you to its brightest light setting straight away, while it's the lowest setting for the PETZL. So you might prefer one or the other, or you might not mind. It's not a deal breaker for me, but I do prefer to start with the lowest light setting because if you're running into the dusk, you don't want to start with a super bright light or risk dazzling your pals when you first switch your head torch on. So scrolling through the light settings on the Iko with a single button press, you get low, medium, high and off. You can also lock it with a press and hold, same to unlock. So when scrolling through the Trail Runner 3 light settings, you have to press and hold to turn the beam off. So you'll just keep scrolling through high, medium and low if you keep with a single click of the button. So to show you that you're back to the highest setting again, Silva have incorporated a little strobe flicker to let you know that you're back at the highest light setting, which really helps if you're tired. I prefer Silva's low to high continuous scrolling through the light settings rather than the light turning off with the next click that PETZL uses, as this can leave you running in the pitch black when what you really wanted was a brighter or a lower beam. Here are both head torches compared through all three of their settings, low to high, with a shoe 10 meters away for context. The Silva Trail Runner 3H has a few more features than the PETZL Iko Core which make it useful for runners, including an emergency strobe light setting, which you can access by turning the torch off and then holding the on button down for a couple of seconds. It also has a red light with normal or flashing mode on the back for added safety on any road sections, which is a really good addition for runners. The Trail Runner also swivels right down to the ground, whereas the Iko Core is limited by the plastic band. It does swivel all the way up to the top though, which is useful for not blinding friends. batteries. So both head torches are the same here in that they use their own rechargeable battery, but you can swap in 3 AAAs. Petzl have had their core battery for years now, but this new slimline Silva hybrid battery is a great leap forward from their older, chunkier style. Using the AAAs does add about 15 grams to each torch, and with this type of power source, the brightness will dim gradually over time, while the rechargeable batteries will hold the designated brightness level for as long as possible before just dropping off a cliff. Alternatively, you could purchase a spare PETZL Core battery for £25 or a spare Silva hybrid battery at £32 to swap in instead. Silva have another trick up their sleeve when it comes to longer night runs too. They also sell a larger Trail Runner 4.0 AH battery that's compatible with the whole Trail Runner series old and new models. It weighs 85 grams and costs £64 and boosts the max and medium burn times to 9 and 11 hours respectively for ultra running. You can wear this larger battery on the headband, but you're much more likely to want to use the provided cable to allow you to pop it in your running pack. So this has the added benefit of keeping it warmer, which makes it last for longer too. You can also use this extension cable for the standard hybrid battery pack too for the same benefits. Headband. Both brands have made huge leaps in headband design. The futuristic AirFit headband is the most significant change for Petzl here. The Iko Core headband is made of very flexible, water-repellent plastic, much more like a pair of sunglasses than previous fabric headbands. The on-off button on the Iko Core is underneath the light, so make sure that that doesn't confuse you into putting it on the wrong way up. You can adjust the fit very easily by simply pulling or loosening the orange elastic cord above the battery housing, and the super slim lightweight lamp sits up front on a single plastic band. The band's really comfortable if you wear a buff with it, but to me it's not quite as wide, padded and comfy as last year's Swift RL or even their older Actik Core, which both use the fabric strap as padding, despite both being heavier up front as the battery is behind the lamp. So Silva still use the traditional fabric headband with a silicone grip for the Trail Runner Free series, but they have moved this head torch on from the original Trail Runner range really cleverly by incorporating the wire that originally ran from the battery pack to the lamp inside the stretchy fabric headband. This is a really nice snag and faff-free touch, which is great progress. The headband is easy to adjust and comfy and grippy on the head, but the small vertical section of padding on the left behind the lamp is a little bit uncomfortable to the bare forehead. It's fine when you're wearing a buff, but the older version was more comfy in this area. Packability. So the Silva Trail Runner 3H is dead easy to fold up and pop into a running pack, but the semi-rigid frame of the PETZL Iko Core does make it a little bit more fiddly to fold up and squash into your vest. It clips into itself nicely, but it's still a bit less easy to stow without it pinging apart unless you pop it into its little bag. Eco and ethics. So I've just watched David Attenborough's latest terrifying TV program, Extinction, and quite frankly, it has given me nightmares. So it reminded me that I really need to up my game in sharing the eco and ethical credentials of the brands I review with you so that you can add this to your decision-making process. Firstly, we should ask ourselves, do we really need this new gear? The most eco-friendly product is the one you're already wearing or using, so make sure you buy good quality, durable gear that will last you a long time. But if it's irreparably broken or not up to the job, it's time for a new one or a new to you second-hand version. So Silva have a code of conduct, COC, based on the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact. So fair wages and working hours, no forced labour or child labour, anti-corruption, and complying with all environmental laws and regulations, and promoting environmentally technologies, sustainability and biodiversity while reducing waste and emissions. Silva pride themselves on making high quality, durable products, and the packaging of the Trail Runner Free is nice and minimal and made of cardboard, which I can presumably recycle in the usual ways. Petzl have the Petzl Foundation, a non-profit section of the company founded by Paul Petzl in 2005 to serve the environment that has allowed the company to exist and develop. It includes funding projects worldwide to save glaciers in Bolivia, a major cleanup in Yosemite National Park in the USA, and encouraging ecotourism in Madagascar. This sounds very laudable, but I can't find anything on sustainability for their actual manufacturing process. So I've asked them to embellish this section of their website for you to have a look at in the future. Petzl have said they're currently in meetings about better environmental responsibility for 2021, and many of their head torches, including the Iko Core, have fully recyclable packaging, whilst their rechargeable core battery has been redeveloped to fit in a far wider range of their head torches. So keep up the good work, Petzl and Silva, and looking forward to any more green developments that you can share with us. So for both head torches, the verdict is positive. The brightness, burn times, the weights are all a fantastic improvement on previous models, and the battery swapping versatility for both is brilliant for those longer nighttime runs. So in summary, I would say that the new Silva Trail Runner 3H, although slightly heavier and pricier, has more useful light settings for runners than the Petzl Iko Core, and the traditional fabric strap feels better and it's easier to stow in a running vest. So this is the one I would personally use more out of the two, but many runners will also get on famously with this super light, great value Petzl Iko Core, and I just hope I've given you enough information here for you to make the right decision for you. Everybody has different needs when it comes to head torches, and I'm keen to know your thoughts in the YouTube comments below. Which head torch do you currently rate most highly and why? And share your experiences, good and bad, to help people watching this film make the best choice for them. And if you fancy treating yourself to any of the head torches I've mentioned in this film, the links to buy are in the film description below, and they will give me a tiny percentage of the sale at no cost to you. So many thanks if you do this. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, click like, leave me a comment, and I hope to see you out there this winter on those dark nighttime trails.